Alrighty, folks. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. God bless. God bless. We got a new day ahead of us. Another opportunity to be great. Another chance for us to shock the world. Another chance for us to chase our dreams. Another chance for us to reach our goals. Good morning. God bless. I'm so happy to be here with y'all today. Another opportunity for us to get it right first thing in the morning. The one thing I am going to do is make sure I share this video to our Facebook audience. So give me 1 second. Sharing from the Facebook page to my personal page because I'm always trying to attract more and more folks to the show. Shout out to Twitter. I'm getting the show posted on Twitter now. I got the YouTube live going, and right now I'm just working the YouTube live via YouTube. I'm actually going to start switching that over to Zoom as well, so I can capture my audio clips and post our episodes on like the Spotify's and the Apples and the Titles of the world. We're moving in that direction. If you are a fan of the show, and I appreciate you all joining, please feel free to support the show. You'll notice the Cash App link in the comments or in the description on Facebook. It should just pop up there. But today we're going to talk about some cool things. It is Wednesday, June 2nd. Wednesday, June 2nd, hump day. That means we are going to be discussing our emotional health, our emotional well-being, how we can get better emotionally, how we can strengthen ourselves emotionally. That is the discussion topic of the day. At the warm-up, each day is followed by a theme, right? It's a motivation movement. Excuse me. It's a motivation movement, and each day of the week, we try to tackle a core pillar in our lives that we can grow in. Those pillars being spiritual growth, mental growth, emotional growth, physical growth, and financial growth. How can we get better in those core areas of our lives? Each and every day is another opportunity to get right. So, the show is broken into 3 segments. We're going to be about 20 minutes tops. I'm going to try to keep it at 20 minutes. The show is broken into 3 segments. And today we're going to be talking about, we're going to be going through affirmations. We're then going to dive into managing our emotions in decision making. And then I'm going to leave you all with some awesome quotes. And then we are done. We are done. You should be ready to go out there and conquer the world. So, we start every show doing what we call our mirror moment, right? This is like right before game time. You're in the locker room. You're about to walk out, but you're about to give that game time speech, right? So you got to give yourself the game time speech. And we are going to read off some affirmations. I ask you all to repeat after me. As you hear the affirmation, just let it resonate. Repeat that affirmation. Hopefully it sticks with you throughout the day. After we finish affirmations, I'll dive into some tips about managing your emotions. So, repeat after me. Repeat after me. I master my emotions by changing my thoughts. I master my emotions by changing my thoughts. I am in complete control. I am in complete control of my reactions to life. This is where we want to be, right, folks? I am in complete control of my reactions to life. Sometimes that knee-jerk reaction could leave us on the wrong side of life, right? Let me see. I am confidently expressing myself openly and honestly. I am confidently expressing myself openly and honestly. See, when you're able to be yourself, you don't have anything to get all anxious about and get all nervous about because you're yourself. You're confidently bringing your full self, your authentic self to the table. Nothing to be worried about, right? It alleviates so much stress in your world. Repeat after me here. I accept all my emotions, but keep and sustain only the positive ones. I accept all of my emotions. The second part is important, but keep and sustain only the positive ones. Repeat after me. I am in touch with my feelings and nurture those which elevate my being. See, being emotionally intelligent, being emotionally connected, being emotionally grounded, being emotionally responsible is all about knowing how to leverage those emotions to elevate your being, right? Elevate your journey, elevate your experience here on earth, elevate those around you. That's the purpose. Repeat after me. I am attracting joy into my life. I stay calm in stressful situations. Today, I am brimming with energy and overflowing with joy. Last three. Great affirmations here. I am superior to negative thoughts and low actions. Right? You're better than that. I am in control of my emotions. I am free to determine my response to every situation in my life. I am free to determine my response in every situation, to every situation in my life, right? So no matter how you're feeling, in the moment, don't forget that you are still free to determine and make a healthy decision in your life, no matter the situation. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to manage emotions? How are we going to manage our emotions? There's a quick list. There's a quick list of things that I'll read off for you. But then I'll dive into some more like substantive like strategies and elaborate a bit. So handling emotional decision making, right? Handling the emotions in decision making. One, hit pause during the emotional dance, right? Right when your brain and your body starts to get all riled up because you have an emotional response, hit pause, take a deep breath, think. Balance your emotions, right? So if you're responding to something, an experience in life, and your emotions send you way up here, maybe you find a way to think about, okay, how can I find a balance in how I display or present these emotions? How would I feel if the opportunity went way down here, right? So you try to find a good space there. Trust your gut feelings. Trust your gut feelings. That doesn't mean that if your gut feelings say lash out and go crazy, that doesn't mean you have to do that. But it does mean that maybe that your gut is on to something, right? Take your time, of course. Integrate, this is a big one. Integrate emotions with reason. Integrate emotions with reason. Say hello to logic, right? When we do when we go through the warm up throughout the week, we start with spiritual, then we move to mental, then we get into our emotional spaces, right? And so the thing is that these things feed off of one another. They feed off of one another, and you don't want all of your decision making. What's up, Em? Thanks for joining. You don't want all of your decision making to be emotionally charged, right? We're talking about managing our emotions in decision making. So this tip here says to integrate your emotions with reason, right? The next tip is similar, where it says marry the heart and the mind. Marry the heart and the mind. These two instruments are working together for your greater good. That doesn't mean they're always going to be lock and step. That doesn't mean you're always going to be on the same page with your heart and mind. But what it does mean is that in decision making, you should consult both your heart and your mind. Integrate your emotions with reason. And the last quick tip on this topic here is to ask yourself questions in decision making. Ask yourself questions, right? Work through the process with yourself, right? You can consult yourself, ask yourself questions. How would I feel if I made the decision in this way? What would the consequences look like if I choose option A versus option B? What if I decided to say no? What if I decided to say yes? Take yourself down this decision-making journey so you can find yourself at an optimal solution and not just a quick knee-jerk emotional response. And yeah, you'll always be able to say, well, I did what I felt. But was it the best decision? Was it the best decision? Just because you felt a certain way doesn't mean it's the best decision. Emotions can affect not just the nature of decisions, of a decision, but the speed at which you make it, right? And so what we're trying to avoid is becoming Speedy Gonzalez of decision making. Anger can lead to impatience and rash decision making, right? While if you feel afraid, your decision making may be clouded by uncertainty or caution, and it might take you longer to choose, right? Because you're led by this emotion. So the whole goal is to just kind of be in tune with your emotions and understand how they may impact or affect your decision making. And in some cases, that process is going to could potentially lead to more risk and negative outcomes. Sometimes if you're afraid, it's important to be cautious, right? Like, I'm afraid, let me be cautious, let me be smart about this. That's a case in which your emotions are pointing you towards a healthy decision. But in other cases where you're angry, or you're feeling impatient, or you're feeling frustrated, and your decision making is going to drive you to a rash or mean-spirited or angry decision, those outcomes are probably going to be negative, right? So this is what the tip means by integrating your emotions with reason, marrying the heart with reason, right? We're just trying to become better versions of ourselves. That's it. That's all we're trying to do here. So 4 ways to control or boost your decision making, 4 ways emotional control boosts your decision making skills. So if you have, let me see here. Uh-oh, lost my page. Bear with me. I got stuck. Okay, so I'm missing. I can't get back to where I was. This is what happens when you hit the wrong stuff. So I apologize. I got another one for you guys. Another quick tips before we move on to our quotes, and I'll leave you all on your way. So I got 3 quick tips for emotional decision making in the workplace. I lost my 4 personal ones. I apologize. But I have my 3 quick tips for preventing emotional decisions in the workplace. My source is Business News Daily. Number 1, it says that you should record the pros and cons. Record the pros and cons. If you're a fellow list maker, and I'm a list maker, I make lists in the morning. It says the benefits of writing out your ideas on paper rather than trying to make sense of them in your own head. As a manager, you should have enough information as it is. Take your time to jot down your thoughts and sort through the details before doing or saying something rash. Green recommended doing this in the form of a pros and cons list. This will, at the very worst, provide some time for the emotions to recede, and at the very best, provide a way for you to reach a very logical understanding of the options you have. Number 2 says to involve others in your decision making. I think this is also really smart. I like to call on people and involve others in the workplace. I think it's a great way to bounce ideas off of other people, kind of also build support for your thought processes. Involve others. It is important in highly emotional situations that you are able to rely on outside perspectives. In other words, people not caught up in the emotions of the decision who can provide clear insights and ideas. This is the rationale behind establishing boards in like large companies. So you might have a board, you might have a team, you have a supervisor that might be a little bit removed from the situation, and you consult this individual that can help you get to a more rational decision. Let's see. Take your time. Take your time. I think as much time as you are allotted in the workspace, you should take that time if needed to identify how you want to respond or behave in any particular situation. Good decisions cannot be rushed. While some issues require quicker action than others, you should always take as much time as you're allowed to ensure that you're making the right decisions. Last quote on this topic here. It says, when considering a difficult decision, a leader should avoid the first impulse or inclination. In other words, avoid immediately going with your gut. Just not avoid going with your gut, but avoid immediately going with your gut. I like that perspective. So there are a lot of other tips out here on decision making. Taking your time is a big one. Integrating with reason is a big one. Asking yourself questions. Evaluating the facts, right? Facts always help. Being very present in your decision making is also very important. Sometimes choosing to let it happen is a part of a decision making process. Sometimes you have to use time as your ally. These are just some other quick tips here, and I think all of these are really good. So when you have some free time, you can Google, and we like Google here. We can Google managing emotions and decision making. You'll find a ton of stuff. There are a lot of books. There are a lot of cool quotes and stuff that you could find to help you in this process. A lot of blog posts, a lot of tips. Like I found a lot of materials this morning. So thank you all for diving into the content there. I want to leave you all with some quotes. Hopefully motivate you, inspire you, encourage you to find yourself in a better emotional space than you woke up in today. That is the goal every week, to recharge ourselves in this space. This quote here says, don't let anyone rent a space in your head unless they're a good tenant. I like that. Don't let anyone rent a space in your head unless they are a good tenant. This quote says, you are always one decision away from a totally different life. Check that out. You are always one decision away from a totally different life. You take that how you want to, but my God, I see that as I'm gonna see that as half full, the glass half full. This quote says, by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. I love that. By being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. I keep telling you guys, you are one of a kind. You are God's gift. You are a very rare, unique creation. There'll never be a duplicate. When it comes to making yourself more emotionally strong, LeBron James says, I like criticism. It makes you strong. You got to be able to handle the criticism out here. It's a lot of haters out here. This quote here is an awesome quote. It's a life lesson quote. This quote says, it is a choice. It is a choice. No matter how frustrating or boring or constraining or painful or oppressive our experience, we can always choose how we respond. Remember, you have the power. We can always choose how we respond. This quote says, when something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. Go ahead and take a risk on yourself. That's an Elon Musk quote. This quote is for somebody that needs to hear it, and I'm going to say it's okay. This quote says, "I'm the type of person that will sit in the bathroom and cry, but then walk out like nothing ever happened." And you know what? Sometimes you got to find a quiet place and you let that frustration out of your system. You get the tears out and you get the anger out. Then you wipe your face and you come back stronger, ready to go, right? It's okay. Let it out, let it out, let it out. But when you show up, let's be ready for action. Let's be ready for action. This quote here, a few more. I got three more. This quote here says, "Don't be a slave to your emotions, control them." This quote says, "Don't let your emotions overpower your intelligence." Don't let your emotions overpower your intelligence. This quote, just for the hell of it, says, "If you cannot control your emotions, you cannot control your money." How about that? Last but not least, and this is what it's all about today. It's not about managing your emotions. It's about managing your reaction to your emotions. It's not about managing your emotions. We're emotional beings. Live your life, experience those feelings. But it's about managing your reaction to your emotions. Let's get out here today, y'all. Make good decisions. Did I say 20 minutes? 21 minutes. I'm a little over. Let's get out here today and make good decisions. God bless. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining. Please share. Please share. Please share. Please share. Please support. Please support. I love y'all. Have a good day. Be awesome. Remember to keep your pillars on your mind at all times. Stay focused spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. Let's get better today. Be awesome. Be your best self. Y'all go get them. Later. I'm out.